we tell time, we're trying to figure out the time of day that it is. And there are 24 hours in one day. And that is split up into 12 hours of AM and 12 hours of PM. So our day actually starts not when you wake up. Our day actually starts at midnight. Your day starts at 12 a.m. and I'm pretty sure that all of you are sleeping at 12 a.m. or at least you should be. CJ's telling me no. I wish I was sleeping at 12 a.m. but Maddie got up at 12 a.m. last night, so I had to get up with her. So our day starts at 12 a.m., which is midnight. Okay, it's the middle of the night. You should be asleep. And then we have 1 a.m. And what are you doing at 1 a.m.? I hope sleeping. 2 a.m. 3 a.m. I hope you're still sleeping. 4 a.m. Hopefully still sleeping. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. is when I used to get up to go to school, but maybe some of you guys were still sleeping. 6 a.m. That's when a lot of you start to wake up maybe. 7 a.m. Maybe more of you are waking up. 8 a.m. I would think that most of you are probably awake by 8 a.m. CJ's telling me no way. By 8 a.m. I have already had coffee and breakfast. And at 8 a.m. this morning, Brecken was already playing outside. So, 9 a.m. you're definitely all awake now and you're eating breakfast. You're getting ready for the day. Little Miss Maddie, my baby, went down for her nap at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. that is about the time you're getting ready to sit down on Zoom with Miss Mail, right? 11 a.m. we are finishing up our Zoom meeting. You're getting ready maybe to have lunch. Maybe you're going to go back to bed. I don't know. Then we hit the very middle of the day. And that is 12 o'clock. Middle of the day. Just like 12 a.m., 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Okay? And this is noon. This is the middle of your day, okay? And most of you are eating lunch at this time, I would think. Although when we were in school, we were eating lunch way over here. But this is like our lunchtime. And now the time is going to change to PM. So now we're going to enter the afternoon. Okay? And we've got 1 p.m. I don't know what you guys do at 1 p.m. Maybe you're finishing up some schoolwork. Maybe you're finishing lunch. Maybe you're watching TV. 2. Yeah, it was Brecken. He wanted more Cheerios. 2 p.m. My kids are getting ready for a nap at 2 p.m. Hopefully they're sleeping at 2 p.m. 3 p.m. 4 p.m. When we were in school, you were probably home from school by 3 or 4 p.m. 5 p.m. is usually around the time you guys eat dinner. 6 p.m. is when we eat dinner because that's when my husband gets home from work. So maybe your mom or dad are getting home from work around that time. 7 p.m. This is my favorite time of day because that's when Wheel of Fortune is on. And we start to get ready for bedtime. 8 p.m. that's when my kids go to bed. So maybe you guys are getting ready for bed at 8 p.m. 9 p.m. maybe you're getting in bed, getting ready to go to sleep. Although I don't know because CJ told me he's still awake at 12 a.m. 10 p.m. I hope you're asleep. 11 p.m. and then right over here, do you know what happens here? It turns to 12 again. And it is 12 a.m. and the day starts all over again. Okay? So I even drew here, you see, we have the moon around this time. It's still nighttime even though it's a.m., 12 a.m., 1 a.m. This is when you're sleeping. Then the sun starts to come up right around here. and then it's daytime, daytime, daytime. The sun starts to set again, and it's nighttime, and you're getting ready to sleep. Okay? Questions about AM or PM? Give me a thumbs up if you have a question about that. I don't see any questions. Oh, Josiah. What's up, Josiah?
So, does the sun stay where it is?
The sun, remember, I think we talked about this in the fall when Miss Y was with you. The earth turns, so it looks like the sun is rising and setting, but it's really, the sun's not moving. But it looks like in our sky that the sun is going up into the sky, right? And then at noon, it's like right above you. That's why it's the hottest part of the day. And then it looks like the sun starts to set again. But the sun's not moving. We are. The earth is turning, right?
Right.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Then we're going to go over to your math books. All right. And we are going to be on page 528 today. And we're going to be working with AM and PM. And Tio, I know it's really hard for you to write, so you can just follow along, okay? Tio had a little accident yesterday. He's got his arm in a little cast.
Oh no!
Poor Tio. That's not the way anyone wants to spend their summer, is it? Although, hey, where's CJ? Let me get back to CJ. CJ, what happened to you last summer?
Oh yeah, I fell off a car and snapped my wrist.
And so he spent the summer in a cast too. Yep.
And then today I almost...
Oh, no, CJ, no. Okay, so we've got our math books, right? Everyone should have it ready to go and a pencil. You guys ready? Thumbs up if you're ready. John is ready and yawning. Dominic, you look bored and yawning. Okay, so we're going to read the clock. We're going to write the time down, and then we're going to look at the picture of what's going on, and we're going to decide if this is happening in the AM or the PM, okay? And we can go back and use the little chart that I made. I will take a picture of this today and put it on our website for you to see and use if you need to while you're doing Prodigy to practice your math. Okay, so number one, this is when we are eating breakfast, okay? So they wrote down the time for us on this one. But this person, this picture right here, they're eating breakfast at 7:15. There's the hour hand pointing between the 7 and 8, and the minute hand's pointing at the 15 mark. And we have to decide, AM or PM. Do you eat breakfast in the AM or the PM? You're eating breakfast in the AM. So you circle AM. They did that for you, but you can just trace it. I really hope you're not eating breakfast at 7:15 p.m. because that's when Wheel of Fortune starts and you're getting ready for bed. Unless you're having breakfast for dinner, but. Okay, number 2, we're gonna go to art class. So we're gonna read the clock here and decide, would we go to art class in the AM or PM? But let's look at the clock first. We have the hour hand, that's the short one. It's pointing between the 1 and the 2. It hasn't touched the 2 yet. It's still in the space between 1 and 2. So that means it's still 1. And our minute hand is pointing at the 8. If you don't remember what the 8 means for minutes, remember you can count by 5s. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so the time is 1:40. So we need to decide, do you go to art class at 1:40 a.m., which would be over here, or 1:40 p.m., which is over here. So would you go to art class shortly after midnight when the moon is in the sky? Or would you go to art class a little after noon, a little after lunchtime when the sun is in the sky? Give me a thumbs up if you think you would go to art class at 1:40 p.m. Give me a thumbs down if you think it's 1:40 a.m. Logan saying thumbs up for p.m. John thinks we're going to art class at 1:40 a.m. in the middle of the night. I don't know what school you go to, John. I don't know. Quinn thinks p.m., right? Yeah, I think p.m. I think we go when the sun is in the sky, right after lunchtime. You guys actually go to art class right after lunchtime when we're in school, so that should make sense to you. 1:40 p.m. Good job. Erin, did you have your math book with you? Okay, good. There's your pencil. Perfect. Okay. Do homework for number 3. So there's a picture of a little girl doing homework. We have to decide, is she going to do homework in the AM or PM at this time? So let's look at our hour hand first. The hour hand is pointing. I'm going to color in the space that it's pointing to. It's pointing between the 4 and the 5. So it's in this space. This space here, that belongs to the 4 because it's not at 5 yet. So my hour is 4. In the minute hand, I'll give you a chance to write down the 4. The minute hand, it's pointing right at the 6. And I think you guys remember now, because we've practiced this a lot, that 6 means 30 minutes, right? Because it's halfway around. We practiced this the other day with half past. So 30. 4:30. So now we need to decide. Do we do homework at 4:30 a.m. right here or 4:30 p.m. right here? So if it was 4:30 a.m., it would be after midnight, but before I usually wake up for the day. So do you get up? I really hope you don't get up and do your homework in the middle of the night before you get up for the day and get ready for school. Or do you do your homework at 4:30 p.m.? Usually we get home from school right about here. You know, you're about to have dinner over here. I think that this sounds better, 4:30 p.m. Right? Logan keeps messaging me on the chat. It's definitely p.m. Yes. 4:30 p.m. I really hope you don't get up at 4:30 in the morning to do your work. That's not good. John is telling me yes. John's on a completely different schedule than everybody else. All right. Let's try number 4. Now this is tricky because it says arrive at school. So we got to think back to when we were still in school. What time would we arrive at school? Let's read the clock and see what time this kid is getting to school. The hour hand is pointing between the 8 and the 9. So I know it's not at 9 yet. This space between 8 and 9 belongs to the 8. So you can write 8.
Mommy, I don't think so, no.
Now, the minute hand,
No.
the minute hand is pointing to the 5. So let me count by 5s to figure out what time that is. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You guys are getting a lot of practice on Prodigy this week, telling time. So this should start to come easier to you. Maybe you started to memorize that 5 means 25 and you don't have to count. All right, so are we going to get to school at 8:25 a.m., which is about here, between the 8 and the 9, or 8:25 p.m.? What time do you get to school? Well, let's look. If it was 8:25 a.m., the sun is up, it's before lunch, but it's after midnight. If I got to school at 8:25 p.m., that's after Wheel of Fortune is on, that's after I had dinner, and it's before I go to bed. What do you think? Give me a thumbs up if you want to answer. Do you think it's a.m. or p.m.? John.
PM.
p.m. You want to go to school at 8:25 at night? Is that when you get to school, John? Where did John go?
No.
John, do you go to school after you have dinner? I don't know where John went. No. Do you eat dinner and then you say, bye, Mom, I'm getting on the school bus. I'm going to go to school. No. How about 8:25 a.m. after you had breakfast? You've gotten ready for the day. Josiah tells me yes, 8:25 a.m. That's when the school bus comes, or that's when you ride with Mom or Dad to school. Okay? All right. Let's see. Who wants to help me with number 5? Who wants to help me read the clock? Can anyone tell me what hour this clock says? If it's pointing between the 2 and the 3, it's not touching the 3 yet. Jada? Well, let's look at the hour hand right here. It's pointing between the 2 and the 3. So it doesn't touch the 3 yet. It's still 2. That's right. So write down 2. I drew a weird 2. Let me fix that. And now we have to read the minute hand. Who wants to help me read the minute hand? Thumbs up if you want to help me read the minute hand here. It's pointing to the 10. Nick really wants to do it. Okay, Nick. Let's see. Do you want to help me count by 5s?
Yeah.
5.
10. 15.
Yep.
20. 25. 30. 45.
35.
40. 45. 50.
Good. Whoop, we stopped at the 10 right here. 50.
Where? 50.
Yep. 2:50. So now we decide AM or PM. Let me go to my chart. 2:50 AM. That's going to fall between the 2 and the 3. So we have to think, is the library open right after midnight before anyone gets up and has breakfast? When the moon is in the sky? 2:50. I don't think the library's open at this time. Let's look at 2:50 p.m. That's after lunch. It's before we have dinner and the sun is out. So what do you think? Is it AM or PM? Give me a thumbs up. Stella?
Yeah.
PM. That is right. I don't know if you guys can hear Bracken in the background, but a truck just drove by, and so he's screaming, truck, truck. All right, let's do one more, okay? Go to science class. Now, we don't really go to classes, but when would we do science during the day in school? So we're going to read the clock first, okay? And then we'll decide AM or PM. Who can tell me what hour it is? If the hour hand is pointing between 10 and 11. What hour is it? Let me see if anyone's got their thumbs up. No one can tell me what hour it Nobody knows. Dominic, do you know? Dominic has disappeared. Okay. Oh, Logan messaged me on the chat. Logan said it